Greetings and welcome, people. As you can see, you join me on one of my usual stretches of road. But fear not, good people, that is not going to last much longer. In keeping with the very recent tradition I decided to embark upon of going off of the roads I normally ride on and exploring some of the back roads and country roads, very shortly I shall be leaving this usual road of mine and heading off down the aforementioned country road / back road. Now it could get quite interesting. It's not going to be a very long stretch of road. It's just sort of like a little diversion which comes out up at the end of this road, up at the roundabout, up at Whiteways, near the Whiteways car park and cafe and biker meet, and ooh, it's very gravelly. Now one of the reasons it could be interesting is because, as you can see, being a back country road is very narrow. And I think 95% of it is one vehicle wide only. Obviously I'm talking about four-wheeled or bigger vehicles, not talking about motorcycles. I'm going to put my sun visor up because it's a bit shaded under here. It's not a nice little tree-lined country road with nice views. It would be more visible if the hedge line was cut back a bit, but I don't see why wildlife should lose its habitat just so I can get a nicer view. And yes, I'm going to be taking it very easy along here. Excuse me. Because as I say, A, these roads are quite narrow and shaded and dark, and B, I've never ridden along this road before. The only view I've had of this road before actually coming along here was on Google Street View, just so I could get an idea of what sort of things I was likely to run into. It's these lovely country cottages, a beautiful little country church. Very nice indeed. I suppose it would help if I put my left turn indicator on to show that I'm not about to proceed. That's very nice indeed. I don't fancy going up there because that's very gravelly. Oh, I didn't realise this is quite as steep as it is. And yes, quite a lot of gravel in the road washed off from these banks in the heavy rain. That's another reason why I was quite keen to get out today. We've got another spell of rainy weather coming up. And I've been rather busy the last week or so, not been able to get out as much as I would like to. In fact, not much at all, to be honest. So while the rest of my family, is this the road I was wanting to go down? I think it might be. The rest of my family is plonked in front of the telly. That's quite nice. Watching Formula 1. I thought I'd come and take a little look around here. Very nice it is too. Now, would I be able to get a photo opportunity here? I think if I turn around and come back up, park my bike there and get a view across there. Yes, let's try that. That would be rather nice. Let's see if we'll find somewhere to turn around safely. Some very nice properties around here. Yes, yes, yes. Alright, let's see if I can very carefully turn around here. Afternoon. Whoop, steady on, it's a bit slippy. Yes, I'm not going to swing around on there, it's a bit gravelly, a bit steep. Where was it? I think it was here. I think that will be quite nice. Not sure how far back I'm going to be able to get. Let's see. Come on, flipping phone, hurry up. So some of these roads would be much more capably explored on a trail bike or something like that. Right, this is where we go down quite a long piece of a single vehicle road. And from what I could tell with Google Street View, most of the passing places are just where people are pulled off onto the verge. So very gravelly. Don't want to be doing any braking or steering on that. And that's what I was thinking might happen. Apart from being a very minor back country road, obviously does have people living along here, so Court Cottage, very nice. And down another tree tunnel. If anybody's interested, this area is around the village called Maidhurst. Something I've seen signs to pretty much here all the time I've lived here. Every time I've come up past Whiteways and Berry Hill, obviously you see signposts to Maidhurst pointing down these two side roads. These are basically the only ways to access this area, this road and the one that I left the main road on. So if anything happens on these roads, you ain't getting through. And some of these ferns and bracken growing on the side here, it looks almost Jurassic, or is it Paleozoic? I don't know, one of the two. Looks like we've gone back in time, let's put it that way. That was a very, very brief little off-main road stint, and I need to head back home because, as I say, not much time. Excuse me. I'm going to cover a secondary topic that. Oh, smell of barbecue, barley, mate. No, I'm an inquisitive, curious sort of person. I'm going to say curious. I mean, I like to know things, I like to look into things, I like to understand things. I'm by no means unique in that regard. But one thing that interests me is language. The origins of languages, things like that. For example, I know that English is at heart a Germanic-based language with some Latin borrowed phrases as well, and obviously influences from other cultures. I mean, some of our words are borrowed from the Indian subcontinent, obviously from the time of the British Empire, British Raj. The word we use for a small single floor dwelling is a bungalow, and that definitely did come from India, and so did pyjamas, and I'm sure so did many other words. But here's one thing that occurred to me today that is quite amusing and bemusing in the same instance. Now in English, obviously I'm English, British English, whatever, the term we use for someone who is a a figure representing evil and unpleasantness and the stuff of nightmares and things like that is the bogeyman. Excuse me. As in the bogeyman. Now, obviously, in English, one connotation of the term bogey is the dried mucus that you get building up in your nose, or sometimes not quite so dry. Sometimes it can be, yeah. Well, anyway, let's not go down that road. But anyway, the mucal discharge from one's nostrils, we in UK most often refer to as a bogey. I mean, some people may have other words for it, but I think most commonly, unless anybody can tell me different, it's referred to as a bogey. Now, whether that has the same context as bogey in bogeyman, as being someone being unpleasant that you just want to get rid of, you just want to extract and get shot of, as we say over here, pick it, lick it, roll it up and flick it. Well, some people do, I don't. Of course, now most of, if any of my American subscribers, or anyone living in a country that has more American than British influence, the term you use for nasal secretion is boogie, booger, B-O-O-G-E-R. And I believe that some people do also say, for this nightmarish, unpleasant, evil figure, the booger man. Obviously, same joining of words there. Bogey man, booger man. Bogey and booger meaning effectively the same thing. Now, we won't go into terms like bogey wheels and things like that. That probably has a different connotation altogether. Well, obviously it does. I don't think it has the same derivation. But where it gets a bit odd, and I'd love for one of our American friends to sort of explain how this came about, is that I very often, in fact almost exclusively, now hear the term boogie man. Really, where have all these guys come from? They've all come down that earthen road. Yes, boogie man. Now, as far as I'm aware, and I think most UK people would possibly be of the same mindset, the word boogie, or boogie as we say, slightly longer on the double O, means to basically to dance, to have a good time. So, you know, like Get Down and Boogie, or that film Boogie Nights, or the record Boogie Nights. So I'm just curious as to how boogie came to replace booger in the word for a nightmare figure, an evil person, something that scares children. Now I can see that maybe it's a merging together of bogey and booger, and you end up with boogie. But then how did boogie come to mean dancing or having a good time, that type of thing? You know what I mean. It probably has slightly different meanings, but so essentially, instead of describing someone who's a nice fireblade, a rather unpleasant person, boogeyman, essentially, going with the term that most UK people would know for the word boogie, is somebody who likes to dance and having a good time. So it's not exactly so I'd be very interested to know how that came about. But in the meantime, if nothing else happens on the way home, I'm going to leave it there for now and say thank you very much for dropping by and taking a look, and I'll speak to you again next time. Cheerio for now. Bye.